Very honest, we all have heard about Jeffrey Epstein and the files which have been released earlier before. But let me give you a quick introduction of who the man is. The man was always known for human trafficking. Yes, not just that. In the year 2006, the first case came against Epstein. And this one girl was saying that he is a high profile person and he has allegedly caught me in prostitution and harassed her like anything. Now, since the man was so much in power, he was so much into connections with Bill Gates, George Bush, Donald Trump, Michael Jackson, that nobody could do anything about this man. Then again in 2009, the entire thing came out again, and then the file was actually filed against Jeffrey. Again, if you see at that point of time also, nothing really happened because the man was really powerful. Then it took so many years. I mean, the fight started in 2006 and 2019 when finally Me Too movement came into whole power. At that point of time, many girls came forward and then they alleged Jeffrey Epstein of actually booking them or hooking them with other big celebrities, influential political leaders, and businessmen, and bringing them into prostitution. And not just that, small girls who were actually now turned into a bigger girls, those girls actually claim that how on Epstein Island every single thing happened with them, how Jeffrey Epstein was doing all those kind of mental harassment also, and also some mental experiments and all of that. He was allegedly blamed with human trafficking, then a psychiatric, and then a lot of things were happening at that point of time, right? Now then in 2019, finally the movement got into a level, and after that in July 2019, Epstein was actually arrested. And after the arrest, at that point of time, he was very good friends with Donald Trump. And in this entire case, Donald Trump's name came again and again. In fact, you must have seen many pictures out there, and girls also saying up that Donald Trump liked her cap, Donald Trump liked her blonde hair. Some girls said that Donald Trump just harassed her and then said, "You exactly look like my daughter," and all of that. Those clippings are out there, many interviews are out there, many documentations are out there. So Jeffrey Epstein was very good friend of Donald Trump. At that point of time, Donald Trump thought he wanted to become the US president. Then he thought this entire thing, if this entire matter comes up in the public, then there will be a problem for his election and all of that. At that point of time, Donald Trump tried everything so that he will not get into any of the charges and all of that. When now he wanted to become the president and all of that, then only we see coincidentally Jeffrey Epstein died in August 2019. I mean, a man who was there in July and also the man who was there in American imprisonment, that their security is so much, there is no much corruptions out there, their peace maintenance is nice, everything is nice. And then the news came that he suicided at that point of time, which was actually claimed like a murder because he was having files of so many people. But Jeffrey Epstein was a very intelligent man. He did this one thing. He used to write email. If let's suppose he's having an issue with Bill Gates, he used to do this one thing. Whatever issue he was having with Bill Gates, whatever meetings he was setting for Bill Gates and all of that, he used to write in an email and then send it to itself only. Yes, to himself only. He used to write that email sent by Jeffrey Epstein, and now sent to also Jeffrey Epstein was there. So he used to do that. So now Donald Trump in 2019 said that if you elect me as a president, then I will disclose all the files and all the emails of Epstein, and everybody was so much curious of the fact because everybody wanted to read it because that was something which was coming under jurisdiction and government. But the president has the whole power that if they want, they can disclose it in front of the whole world. And in 2019, Donald Trump said the same thing for another election which was about to take place in 2025. He wanted to do this one entire thing. And at that point of time, Donald Trump fortunately wins the election, and now we all have these details of Epstein files. And everybody was so curious enough. Everybody thought that this entire thing is going to be a icebreaker. Changes would be there, but nothing really happened. When in December 2025, the whole mail came up. Everybody's name was there. Michael Jackson, Bill Gates, even Stephen Hawking's name were also there, and so many influential people. But almost all those emails have black marker. None of the information was clear or something like that. It was not explicit enough. But at that point of time, he was again Donald Trump was claimed that this is just an excuse. It is not even clear who has done what. And also, even after carrying the name of so many influential politicians and all of that, none of them were convicted. And I will tell you this one thing also. There is this another home secretary of US right now. He was claimed to be talking from Jeffrey Epstein that he wanted to see a girl who was on the boat, and she was riding the boat. She was just 6 years old, and this man was setting up the meet between the two people. So that kind of heinous act was there in almost all those emails and all of that. Then after that, all of this happened right now. Again, a file came up where many of the mails are there. Some explicit content is there, as Donald Trump wants to keep up the promise only because the midterm election is there, and Donald Trump has almost devastated the entire America's geopolitical relation trades. Because you see, even European Union has sidelined America like anything. They are doing trade with Asia and China, with India and China right now. So Donald Trump is really furious now that he thought that there could be one other possible way to give gossip to people, to give crime to people at that point of time, criminal gossip and all of that. That is why he again released this whole file. But you see, in this entire file, there is another name which is making all the Indians furious and furious enough. An opposition party in India have been taking a lot of side into this entire matter, and that is the name of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Exactly. Now, there is a thing. In 2017, there is a mail which Epstein has done to JFY. So basically, both of them are talking that Epstein says to the person that that PM Narendra Modi visited Israel, and before the visit, he talked to me, discussed me the entire matter, and right now he's dancing and singing. It all went really nice, and also he did it all because of U.S. President Donald Trump. The exact thing is mentioned out there now. If you talk about that entire thing, Congress Party and their chief LOP Rahul Gandhi, everybody is questioning this one fact, that how can a human trafficker have had connection with PM Narendra Modi? Because before that entire thing, there was election also happening, and all of things were happening. And India's geopolitical relation was declining like anything. He wanted to meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and all of this he wanted to do all of that. But at that point of time, also there were no such clue that he met Epstein till date. And when it came to India, everybody is curious enough that what has happened. Do both of them have any connection or anything like that? So basically, as per the NEA, they are coming up with this whole saying that all of these allegations are bullshit right now. PM Narendra Modi never really talked to Jeffrey Epstein, and we have enormous reasons to believe the entire thing, because PM Narendra Modi met the Israeli PM Netanyahu. That was something which was almost all which was spreaded almost all on internet. It wasn't any hidden information, and he wanted to meet him because of something else. He wanted to make connections and relations between India and Israel very well, because Israel used to export a lot of weapons and many more missiles and all of that to India, which would make India a greater place for defense ties as well. So that is why both of these countries were having whole contact and everything like that. And also Narendra Modi then started up with almost all the new paradigms of geopolitical India. That's it. But there is no such clue, there is no such pictures of ever Jeffrey Epstein and PM Narendra Modi meeting with each other. See, Jeffrey Epstein was somebody who used to do mental experiments, who used to do prostitution, human trafficking, and all of that. But he did not have any political sense or something like that. And none of the leaders or none of the politicians or anybody who were caught in this entire matter have had any such, where these two peoples or anybody is having political discussion with Jeffrey Epstein. It makes no relevance right now. There's also another thing. I am not questioning the emails which are out, but if you see this entire pattern right now, how Donald Trump is right now trying to defame India like anything. First, he put up 50% tariff on India. That didn't work out. Again, there was this point of time where he was putting a pressure on India that you should stop buying Russian oil because the war between Russia and Ukraine is not ending, and we just want this war to end. And if you will stop buying Russian oil, then only Russia will go in the economic debt. Although we don't buy Russia or Russian oil in that much of amount also. China buys it much more than we are buying right now, but only we were questioned like anything. Then again, Donald Trump came and said that PM Narendra Modi chased me. He wanted me to make happy and all that. So if you see Donald Trump, Peter Navro, the chief advisor of Donald Trump, then the US Vice President JD Vance have done so many things for India to open their market, for India to bow down in front of America, for India to actually, have into a situation where India gets into a deep state situation where such protests happen and our government gets down, like things happening in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, then you see Pakistan, then Nepal. So they wanted to attack India in the similar manner, but nothing as such got successful or anything like that. Now again, this files comes up, and then PM Narendra Modi's name is there. I mean, earlier also PM Narendra Modi's name was there in Epstein file, but it was nothing related to Israel or political. It was only that a businessman from US wanted to meet PM Narendra Modi. But in that entire mail, it was the only thing was written there that I can set a meeting of you with PM Narendra Modi. Only this much of mentioning were there. But right now, if you see, there is like full-fledged, information that PM Narendra Modi is going and meeting Israeli Prime Minister and all of that. Many of the things are there. But it can also be a set up plan against India if you see in that manner, right now, and PM Narendra Modi, because PM Narendra Modi is, if I be very honest, he has made India's geopolitical area and future into something so impeccable. Cut. Sorry. He has made India's entire PM Narendra Modi has visioned India's geopolitical sense into something which we can't even imagine right now. We have signed mother of all Ds right now. We are having good connection with Middle East. We're having good connection with Central Asia as well. So we're actually excelling right now. But right now, if US, if seeing us, is very really unhappy about this one fact, because whichever goods we used to export to US, now we can export it to European Union and their countries, and we don't even have to give that much off. If I be very honest, the tariff and all of that, it is much more easier, and we have a richer market than America right now. So basically, Donald Trump is into that entire phase. But this entire case, which is coming up right now, has names of many other people as well. I mean, PM Narendra Modi is there. On the other hand, we also have Bill Gates. And in that entire mail, which Epstein has done it to himself only, he writes that Bill Gates were having illegal connections and illegitimate sex with many of the Russian ladies, and after that, he was caught with STD, and he transmitted that STD to his wife as well. And then after that, he was asking for antibiotics and all of that, smuggling of all of that. Everything happened. So many of the high profiling people have been mentioned in this entire Epstein file case, which has come up in the second round. But there is no such controversy against Donald Trump in this entire matter, if you see right now. The second 2.0 Epstein file does not have much of the controversy against Donald Trump. How can it be possible? A man who was such a good friend of Jeffrey Epstein, and they have had such good connections, they have had such parties, and so in so many places. I mean, if you see, Donald Trump has been a clear culprit into in the entire matter. And in the 2.0, he nowhere Donald Trump's name is there as such in a bigger sense, and no more controversy is happening around them. It can never be a coincidence. It is something more than this, and this is what we are declining right now. The Congress party out here in India have been saying that PM Narendra Modi is having connection and all of that, but we don't understand this one thing. All that these people are trying to do is just to break India into pieces, and all of they want is so that India should break, the government should get down, and some interim government should be formed, and somebody from who is internationally influenced could become the chief of the interim government, in the similar manner how Muhammad Yunus became, who was not having such political sense, who, and I don't know from where he came up in Bangladesh and all of that, and right now he has become a chief. And till now, after the whole protest also, we have not seen any election in Bangladesh, and out there economic crashes are going on, and the country is devastated like anything. So basically, India has to be protected in so many sense right now. Those international powers are doing and doing stuff so that we can be, derailed, we can be demotivated and all of that. But we don't have to get into the entire matter. That is what I wanted to say. That's all for today. If you like such geopolitical scoop, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe Global Shark. Thank you so much for watching us. If I be very honest, we all have heard about Jeffrey Epstein and the files which have been released earlier before. But let me give you